What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I am joined by my two friends. First off, to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
It's a different day of the week, but we're here recording for you.
Yes, okay. And to my left, smiling from ear to ear,
here I am.
Mr. Brendan Dunne.
And that's the behind the scenes because it's still the same day of the week when they hear this.
Yes,
Right.
but we're recording it on a different
Yeah,
day.
we came in a day early, not at full strength, let's be honest. If we're not at full strength, we're missing some people.
What do you mean?
We're missing some of our crew.
Oh, some of the crew.
Yeah, some of the crew.
Yeah. Some of our beloved crew.
we're
We're also
gonna-
missing a timer on set.
Okay, if we're going to be totally honest, we're missing the timer. We're missing the cameras that are labeled. So maybe Mondays aren't the best foot forward.
There it is.
And missing a guest.
And we're missing a guest. Yes, we're missing a guest, but
Look,
I don't even know I don't know what camera to look in. So just bear with us. It's Super Bowl week. The timer finally started. Okay, listen, we're all right though.
Do you realize how much better it would always be? I've always thought this if the Super Bowl was on Saturday.
You know, everyone says, "Oh,
Why?
the Monday after should be a holiday because people are up late watching."
do I gonna watch? I don't.
You don't watch? I'm
I
watching.
usually watch. I don't know if I'll watch this.
I hope I want Odell to win.
Okay,
I want
sure.
Odell to get a ring.
I'd like to see Joe Burrow get a ring.
Joe Burrow. That's the good thing about like this game. It's a win-win either way. Joe Burrow.
sneaker shopping?
I would do it. Who are you vote? Listen,
Who are you voting for?
not voting.
Who are you
for.
voting for?
Who do you want to win? And also, answer that, and then I'll ask you another sports question.
Oh my god.
That I've been waiting.
Who do I want to? I have no. I'm so disengaged in professional football.
Okay.
Except when money comes involved.
Yeah, if there's a nice promo offered in one of those sports book apps that I use, then I might hop on it then. But
Okay.
Usually in the Super Bowl though, I will have some inkling of who I would like to win, but I don't. Yeah.
And my next question follow up is just I think people. I'm not sure if I saw them in the comments, but people want to know how are you feeling about the Nets that kind of on a losing streak right now. You as a fan, you as a fan, you as a
Brooklyn
fan.
Nets, yeah,
your Brooklyn Nets. How are we feeling going into almost like the All-Star break?
I guess not good. Yeah.
Okay.
I follow the team so closely.
Exactly.
So my emotions are directly tied. There's a direct correlation at any given time of my own personal feelings and moods to the success of the Brooklyn Nets, a team I've always been a fan of.
Super fan.
Speaking of Brooklyn, this is a tie-in, so don't shoot me for the segue. Got these pizza-themed shoes from our good friend Mache.
Shouts to Mache. I think I got a pair too. Thank you so much.
I don't think I got a pair, but I'm sure that'll be sorted out.
Look at these. The pizza-themed shoes.
Yeah.
Talk about them.
Mache got a New Balance collab.
Love that.
Through Foot Locker, I believe.
Nice.
Okay. The shoes actually came in a really cool box. It actually looks like an old school, like white and red pizza box.
Nice.
Okay.
But before we came to set,
Yeah.
so we normally shoot on Mondays.
Right.
Tuesdays.
Already
Today's Monday.
established.
So 6.
But they're hearing this.
So
on Friday.
Our last episode was shot last Tuesday.
Yep.
Last Tuesday, we got sent about 6 pies from Grimaldi's.
Shouts to Grimaldi's. Let's make them the official lunch sponsor of the podcast. Shouts to them. Pizza was great.
Because I used to be a Slice App guy back in the day, so when it comes to pizza promotions and sponsorships,
You know it.
I'm
after they find out what happened, you may
contested,
lose that sponsorship because before this shoot, that he was eating a leftover slice from 6 days ago.
Do you know that there was an old ESPN show literally called Cold Pizza? So
That
you
was
get the
first
pass.
take. Yeah,
Don't forget the cold pizza Nike
Yeah,
SB Dunk
that was
Low.
first take, right?
yeah, it turned into first take.
Wait,
Okay, so-
am I wrong? And please,
When you cook.
Six
listeners and
days.
viewers, tell us if I am flagrant here. What is the
Did you heat it up?
no?
But how
What's the
hard
cutoff
is that crust?
point? The crust was
That bread has gone stale by this point.
yeah. Am I risking my health?
On second thought,
Be honest with me, Joe. Welty's what's
I mean,
your
there's
cutoff
nothing.
date?
There's nothing. So here's the thing. There's nothing. The sort of pizza that you had, right? It was like a pesto-y sort of slice.
Eggplant.
Okay, so there's
nothing that could go bad.
There's
It's called
nothing
the
like
Studio
there-
54.
Yeah, I mean cheese is mold anyways, right? So how is cheese really
Yeah,
gonna go bad?
I like gorgonzola. It's like mold.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
like a bit
exactly.
of blue cheese.
I love blue cheese and
bread,
gorgonzola.
Got the mold
bread.
crystals
As long
on
as
it.
there isn't any
Absolutely.
mold on the bread
Super
yet,
funky.
you're okay. Tomato sauce.
Sound like the loud pack.
I have learned the hard way. I never realized that tomato sauce does go bad. You ever open a can of tomato sauce and you haven't, like, you're like, oh shit, there's mold in here?
No, but
I just cook for myself, so
Yeah.
it's not as much.
so
use.
anyway, you don't co-sign.
What is your cutoff date? How old does pizza have to be for you to throw it away? Because me, I'm such a miser and I love free food, and you know this about me, that I will milk it for all it's worth.
Here's my thing, is that I have a hard time with, like, pizza, because when I do pizza, I want to, like, have that one day that I ate pizza, right? Like,
Yeah.
when I'm like, I'm telling myself I'm eating pizza on
I had
Saturday.
pizza yesterday too.
Oh, it's and let's listen. You don't have to. You don't have to listen to me, or I'm not the one. This isn't breaking news. Pizza day is the best day. It's the
but
best.
I like the
Friday
idea-
night pizza night is the best
But
night.
I like the idea of having pizza on a Friday, right? But I don't like the idea of me telling myself I'm going to eat pizza on Friday, and now there's leftovers, and it turns into pizza Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Yeah.
where half of my week ends up eating pizza.
You're describing my life.
Also, do you ever freeze it though and put it in the oven? It works. It's fine.
Never.
It's
Never
fine.
doing that.
But the other question: how many slices could you do in one sitting?
Is it like a challenge, or like
No,
how many
like-
would I do?
Well, the push and pull is always like, do I get a full pie?
Yeah.
Or there's some.
3 slices. Or
Exactly.
something,
Or
yeah.
if you get like a medium pie for yourself, could you do that?
Some places don't have medium pies.
Okay.
It's just like full pie or slices. How many? You're having a pizza night. How many slices you do?
I might eat 4.
4.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, probably, like, if I'm gonna go all out on it, I could probably do like 6.
Okay, feats of strength challenge. Okay, 6. Okay, your meals. You look very fit. Your meals, though. Did I see like Apple Jacks on top of?
On
top of French
that was
toast?
after Saturday's workout. We went to a place and I ate pancakes.
Good for you.
With Apple Jacks in
Hey,
them.
speaking of cereal, I did get a random Kith delivery this past week, and I tried to ask Andy Oliver why this happened. Not that I'm upset that it happened, but I got in the mail.
Flowers?
You see the UP. No, not that. You see the
That's a
UPS
dope project.
Notification, and you realize, oh, something's coming to me from the good people at Kith. And then you're like, what could this be? Maybe it's a pair of shoes. Maybe my good friend Ronnie Feig decided I would be first to eat on an upcoming project. And it showed up, and it was a box of Kith branded tricks, which is fine, and I've enjoyed them since. But I was a little skeptical. I was like, is there a recording device in here? Is somebody trying to figure out, what's going on in my house at all hours? I don't know. I just wasn't expecting
Thought it was bugged.
Maybe. I could see that happening.
You let the milk have the milk, the colors of the milk. Then you let the tricks, and then the milk turns colors. You drink the milk.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Not that Kith has any reason to bug me, but we got to keep OPSEC very high at all times.
Did you check your emails?
OffSec.
Yeah. Do we have an important email? Okay. There's one spam thing. Okay. That's a great email to receive.
Okay, you too.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. I'm loading.
You got the same email, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We should keep this in, and people can guess about what the email is.
No emails.
Okay. Well,
You're on Hotmail.
No, I
Okay,
specifically asked
but
that.
anyway, listen, Mache, congratulations. We just went off on a tangent about pizza.
Oh,
but
we're
look,
gonna
what
go
is-
on so many tangents
Let's
today.
get. I wonder we get. I may have to text and break down the design. Was that a little bit of basil? Is that basil on the heel, and then basil on the heel, some mozzarella. The toe box is.
If ever there was a sneaker design collaboration that would pique the interest of this show,
is the pizza
it's a pizza.
This
show.
would have been a good.
and Mosh.
Yeah, Premium Pete Meals by Cooge.
Oh yeah, loop it all in. You know
How
what
many
other collab?
Maroons? How many Maroons you giving Mache?
Maybe like 8.5.
Okay.
Another collab that has me excited, and I've been talking about this in our Slack channel, is the Jown Bape shoe. Did I already mention that on this show?
No, but
No,
you
just in the
mentioned it
Slack
like
47 times.
No, come on.
And you're
No.
like, hey guys, you're like I think it was
He's
today,
trying
you're
to sell it
you're like,
through,
You're like, hey
which
guys,
is great.
you're like, I don't know why, but I think I really want this shoe, and we're like, we know you said it 3 times already, but you're saying it like it's a new revelation every single time.
Fuck me. Okay, well,
You gonna
it's
try?
No, it's too late now. I think it already released, but it's like the one shoe that's come out this year where I was like, oh, I should really spend
Wait,
some resources.
so-
Aside from the Louis Vuitton one, we'll talk about that more.
Between the two, would you finally agree you're either the Jown
Oh
guy
my God, here we
or
go.
the Tom Sachs guy?
Wait, what? What is that?
Thank you.
Well,
Is that
no, it's an ongoing thing because Brendan always tries to say he's not the Tom Sachs guy when clearly he's like the biggest Tom Sachs guy out of anyone I know.
Really?
Of course.
Thank you, Joe. I
Yes.
feel similarly incredulous.
I mean,
I'm glad
fabulous-
that you're
I just wasn't
questioning
aware. That's a great title to hold.
It's
Fabulous.
It's
Fabulous.
fabricated.
Fabulous said the same thing.
Fabulous
Wait.
didn't say that. Fabulous agreed
Why? Because he
when
wears
you said
a lot
it.
of the Tom Sachs.
You've worn them multiple times, but just
Because I've worn one shoe multiple times.
I wear it all the time
but
too.
Tom Sachs guy, the Tom Sachs
Dude,
guy.
that's a great title. What am I, the black cat guy?
No, but yeah, black cat guy.
And you?
No, you're the either that or you're the
CDG 95
the
guy.
CDG 95 guy.
I'll take that.
I don't
I'm
know,
not saying a negative way. I'm not like
What
I'm not
are
saying,
you?
I don't know.
Spezial?
New Balance
You
guy.
haven't worn a Spezial in 2 years.
Those new ones are hot.
I do like the new ones. Shout out Gary on those. But between Jound and Tom Sachs, because you did dress up as a Jound character for Halloween.
We're going
You
so
did?
deep.
Wow,
It
I
was
didn't
a
know that,
pun to
but let's put that picture in.
Jonah Jameson, because I had the Jound Oxford. I don't think I own more than one thing from Jound. No. I own the Reeboks and a blue Oxford shirt.
Okay, classy.
So if that makes me the Jound guy,
Well, I'm just saying, which one would you be more comfortable taking the title of?
I guess Tom Sachs, because it feels like a little bit more.
I think they're both
Deserved.
very reputable and both honors.
I don't know, man.
Speaking about Bape collabs, I have to plug
Oh,
Dunne Sneaker Shopping Now
Yes.
Live. Talked a lot about his Bape collab. One of my favorite episodes recently.
yeah.
Great, great great energy from Gunna. Go check that out on YouTube.
Good episode.
You guys cooking up. I know that there's some
FSR on the way.
FSR
Yeah.
coming back. People adding us every single day.
Really?
Yes,
pretty
when
close
is it
to
coming
it.
back? Because I feel like the break
We've
this
had a longer
time has
break
been
than
a
normal.
little,
Yeah.
and also it prematurely ended last year due
Yeah.
to COVID protocol. But
Yeah. We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Couple,
Back soon.
couple of weeks. There's spicy stuff to talk about too. We got Nike getting lawsuits off. Nike suing StockX.
Nike suing StockX, that's a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nike dropping an NFT.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
guys purchase it?
No. See, that's the thing too about like, and I'm sure this will generate a fair amount of comments, but I still am kind of wary of the whole NFT thing and not that involved. But Nike and its lawsuit against StockX. So the lawsuit is about these NFTs that StockX released for the Vault thing, where you own the physical shoe, but your ownership of the physical shoe is tied to a digital NFT that shows the shoe and uses Nike's trademarks pretty heavily. I feel like a lot of people, when it first happened, were like, how does StockX think it can get away with this? So
Or they were confused whether this was like actually like a legitimate representation from Nike of,
Right.
of the product. Now,
Right.
Isn't that what Nike's
that's
claiming?
part of the but they always put that in their lawsuits, like, oh, the people are actually confused, and then they cherry pick like a few comments from here and there. So one of the things Nike is saying is that people feel like this is a scam, and I kind of agree, but also I don't see how this is a scam any more than any general NFT is a
Yeah.
scam. Like I
But
don't know.
Nike did drop the Artifact Monolith
Yeah.
NFT where they airdropped it to
Yeah.
owners of one of the other,
Clones,
which is
we're like trying to say this
which
all
is
correctly.
well, yeah, I was trying to get
Yeah.
it right. Is one of the other Artifacts NFTs. I guess kind of like where if you had like a Bored Ape, they gave you the dog
Sure.
or something like that for free. So people got airdropped these for free.
It sounds totally legit, not a scam at all, right?
But yeah, we saw some takes on the internet that like, getting in on this NFTs, like getting in on Air Jordan 1s in 1985.
Again, I try not to give too many takes on this world because I don't know that much about it, but I'm like, really?
Yeah, I got to do my research. We're still waiting for the Franelations meetup at the Mercer. Hasn't been in town yet. But
Fran definitely is a holder of the
Is he?
aforementioned monolith, artifact, NFT, virtual piece of Nike history. I don't
we talked about what you're wearing on feet. Shouts to Mache again. Today I went 95s. I've been wearing a lot of Air Max 95s. These are the Atmos Air Max 95
2.0.
2.0 Animal Packs.
You're-
Love
You're
these.
a big Air Max 95 guy.
I'm getting it. And I got some ones coming that are pretty cool.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
Something old or something new?
Something old.
Something Lorenz.
Something old turned
Lorenz
new?
gave me a heads up. He didn't do them, but they're
I
on
know-
their way.
I know the Air
Yeah,
Max
I'm really
95.
excited about them. So yeah, I've been on my Air Max 95 kick.
Joe, you know what Air Max 95s we need to hunt down? And I tweeted about this a while back. Maybe the people at eBay can help us. Meta Air Max 95s with the
love
black
those.
tongue, the prototype looking
Yeah.
one, the neon 95 with the black tongue.
Need those.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're giving away a really cool pair of Air Max 95s coming up.
Did you pick a cool pair of Air Max
I really
95s to
did.
give
I
away?
did.
Do you know what
I
he's talking
really
about?
did.
No.
Yes, I did.
I don't know.
Remember.
Okay, well, we'll leave that bit of foreshadowing in. I mean, it'll surprise me as much as it
Yeah.
surprises
Way
the
getting
viewers.
past Stash Air Max 95 to
And
Another great
the power ones too,
Power
right?
one. So
All right. Plenty of Air Max 95 love on here. I'm doing New Balance. I'm sure I've worn this shoe on this
993?
show before. 993. The 993 is a very frequent sneaker for me.
Nice shoe.
Whenever
Great shoe.
whenever I'm feeling like I don't really know what to do with my day, with my life, I throw on a pair of 993s and it balances me. It stabilizes me. You know what I mean?
Listen.
Yeah.
Ever since this was a big college shoe for me too. I
Yep.
remember first getting a pair of these back then, and people weren't really wearing them a lot where I was going to school. So
Okay.
yeah, I think I still have that pair. New Balance 993.
Dig it out.
Always reliable, stable,
Always.
balanced.
Anything from the weekend? Don't you have a pizza story or no?
Oh, we had some pizza over the weekend.
Yeah, I don't
but-
want to bring.
No.
I don't want to do what you do and bring private conversations into public. But if you want to talk,
No, I just had some pizza with some friends
That's the
over,
story.
Yeah,
over
okay.
the weekend.
That's
easy
the-
cut, easy trim.
Is that the whole story?
No, I thought that you were
We're
going to
leaving
talk.
that in.
So it's funny because I thought you were going to talk about the subpar pizza that you had, but it was him eating the pizza for lunch before.
Well, so he was calling me out, even though you spent your weekend eating mediocre pizza, and you weren't going to mention that at all.
It wasn't great.
okay.
Well, Grimaldi's limelight.
it was
is
about as good as the
fucking was.
story.
Wait,
Saturday
would
night,
you rather
though.
hold on,
Keep it
hold on,
in,
hold on.
Haley,
If you had
our
to-
editor.
If you had
Let
to
it
choose
rock.
between
Yes.
the two, if you had to choose between the two,
Okay.
would you rather have fresh subpar pizza, meaning made that day, delivered to you, or 6-day-old good pizza?
Fresh subpar.
I probably the fresh.
Where does the like drop off like meet on like the chart where it's like the subpar fresh pizza is equal to the old good pizza?
You know, I've never seen the chart. I don't know.
You're not watching First We Feast. You are watching Complex. I know there's a lot of pizza talk. I have to say,
What?
are we ready for Saturday night? You know I'm ready.
What is happening?
Israel
Saturday?
Adesanya, Robert
Oh.
Whitaker.
You know
Main
it's a good
event.
one.
I've said it again
Also-
and again.
They fought before, right?
Yeah, they fought before, but also Tai Tuivasa.
Oh yes,
Now you lost me because I am
Derek,
I
the
am
guy
a
who
new
does the shoe, he's also
Izzy
fighting.
fan. So
and they're
Yeah.
all Australian, right? Or maybe one of them's from New Zealand.
Robert Whitaker is Australian, right? And Izzy's from New Zealand, Auckland.
okay,
It's happening in Texas, though.
you guys gonna go?
No, but
I'm gonna take a flight.
Izzy's
this week.
one of my favorites. Him and Nate Diaz still don't have the cards left in Complex Con, left in Long Beach,
I
or
think I
they're on
have
eBay.
your UFC cards.
Huh?
I think I have your UFC
Okay.
cards. Or maybe I did at one point. Or no, you had the UFC
I
cards.
had UFC cards.
I have
had
your-
a bunch of Nate Diaz ones that I was supposed to give to Joe, and somehow they didn't get transferred from that live stage of the amazing unboxing that we did.
Damn shame. Shout out to eBay for that. And shout out to eBay because we are giving away a pair of sneakers.
We are. They're not here.
Yeah,
Like our guest, not here. Shoes, not here. Camera label.
But you know who's
not here?
who?
3 of us.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are here.
And you know what? We've taken this poll again and again about like, should we do less guests? Should we do more of just us hanging out? And so, you know, sometimes the week rolls around and we feel like maybe just us.
Just
No
us.
Kith?
Shouts to Kith.
There we go. Okay. We don't have the sneakers here physically. We don't have an NFT of them either, but we are giving away a free pair of sneakers as we do each week with eBay through their authenticity guarantee program. Here's how you can enter. You can go to ebay.complex.com and submit a question. We read through pretty much all the questions every week right before we come on here to record, and we pick one. If we answer your question on the air, we will be giving you a free pair of sneakers. And
I love this week's.
I want a pair of these so bad.
Me too.
This was one of those
Want to
ones.
go to Bergdorf Goodman after this?
This is
Get
one
a
of those
pair?
ones where we always because to pull it back a little bit before every season, they ask us. We all pick like 3 or 4 shoes a piece, and then
To give away.
But you're sitting there and you're like, which shoes am I going to pick?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like pretty hard to compile
Yeah.
a list when there's like basically infinite possibilities of things that you could pick from. So you're like, what
Yeah.
am I actually going to pick? And then
Yeah.
somehow, you know, when you get those moments that just kind of like
Yes.
Yeah.
come to you out of the blue, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't we pick a Prada Americas Cup?
So you picked this sneaker to give away.
Yes.
We don't have the sneaker with us here, but it will be going to Chris Hamamoto in Albany, California. And Chris actually asked a question that we were kind of thinking about already. And I think instead of just dedicating a little bit of time to it, we're just going to riff on it for our whole time here. So Chris had asked what we think about high fashion sneakers.
Good question. Let's stay on the Prada's America Cup just for
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prada's America Cup, working at the finish line as a young kid,
Yeah.
those were like the sneakers that if someone came in with those, it's like they made it. Like
Yeah.
it was like just And that silhouette just stands up
Yeah.
so
It's one of
well.
those shoes that like kind of like it didn't like it came and went, but like came back sort of situation, right?
And you know, a lot of times.
Wait, can I say something real
Sure.
quick? Real quick tangent.
Yeah,
The situation randomly responded to my DM
that's a win.
over the weekend, weeks later or months later. We haven't seen him in a couple months, right? When we had the full size run episode. Okay, I'm sorry. Can we go back to the Prada
Okay,
Americas Cup?
another win. Small victory. But the other thing that I like about the Prada's America Cup is like, I don't know if you guys get this. It's like when you have to dress up, it's like, oh, what is the sneaker guy going to wear to the wedding or to this
that
or
was
to
like
that?
the sneaker at the time, and I mean, this was never a situation that I had been, personally done or anything. But the stories that you've heard, where it was always like the one sneaker that you could wear into a club back in the day when like sneakers weren't allowed in the club, but if you had Pradas on, you could get in with them.
It was just, you go to the Honor Roll Society in the Prada's America Cup. Did you ever do that?
No.
Okay. High school? You have to get-
I was. Well, here's the
No
thing. is
invitation.
I was never on the honor roll. In
no
high
honor
school.
roll? Okay.
No, never.
So that shoe,
You
though.
were on the honor roll.
I was.
Key Club.
Don't know what that is. But that was the shoe that, like, you know, sometimes I get like when you're going on like a vacation or something, like,
Yeah.
oh, what, you going to wear sneakers on the beach or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like, I get it. It's like the sneaker guy, what are they going to wear? But the Prada's America
I
Cup.
love this idea that everybody in Joe's life is so focused on what he's going to wear. That, you know, there's group DMs and group messages going
What's
on
Joe
that you don't
gonna
even
wear?
know
No,
about,
no.
about what Joe La Puma is going to wear to the beach.
But like, what I'm saying is like the Prada's America Cup, if you had to like put khakis on, you could kill it.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever have a pair?
no, never had a pair, but it's like, yeah, I don't know if we'll talk about it, but it's like the Gucci tennis shoe.
Yeah.
Welty, did you have a pair of America Cup?
No, I've
America's Cup? It's
America's
right?
Cup.
America's Cup.
Yeah.
Have I been saying it right?
You've been saying Pradas, but it's Prada.
Anyways,
Prada America's Cup. Sorry.
Whatever.
But I've never had a pair. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever had a pair of high fashion.
Like the designer sneakers.
Yeah.
Not even during your menswear days?
No.
Throw the photo up.
Yeah. Well, I think even back then, it's like designer sneakers like really weren't a thing. Like during that.
Late 2000s.
Yeah. Like late 2000s, early 2010s, where I feel like we can get into it in the thing, but like that was more of like when like New Balance kind of like that was like the first sneaker that those guys started to be like.
What do you mean those guys? You were one of those guys at the time.
Oh.
Don't other the group if
saw
you were in the
yourself
group.
as
Did I disassociate myself from that group at some point? But that was, I feel like that was like the first sneaker that kind of infiltrated like the
Yeah.
menswear space, and then slowly trickled in.
I never had a pair of America's Cup, but I've wanted them for a long time.
Have you ever had high fashion shoes?
I don't think I've ever had a pair of like proper designer sneakers. I mean, the closest I've gotten, I guess, is, and we've talked about them on here before, is Henderscheme. But Henderscheme is kind of a different.
Oh, I do have a pair of at home. I got a pair of the Prada Adidas Forum
Okay.
highs,
Yeah.
White or black?
white. I don't think I could ever wear this shoe.
Why not? The Forum High is a shoe I think we've spoken about on here. I'm not sure, but we've definitely spoken about it a lot, Welty, where it's like I love that silhouette and I love that model.
Just can't wear it.
And I do think it's worthy of the term classic, which we try to be pretty conservative about, but it's such a bulky, chunky thing to put on your foot.
Like I don't do high tops anyways, and then like that high top, especially with the strap and everything, and the bag
little
on the
pouch?
side. Yeah, it's a little.
Did they throw you the bucket hat? I feel like I need to see Welty in the Prada
I don't think
Adidas
I
bucket hat.
got the bucket hat.
That's
I
a
did
that's
get.
a fucking crime right there.
I think there was a set of Prada, or there was Prada dice that came with it.
Ooh.
You know who's a great dice player?
Prada playing cards.
Who?
Pecos. Took
Really?
everyone's money in Aspen.
Really?
Yeah. CeeLo.
I'm sad we missed out on that story. So yeah, Chris Hamamoto, you are getting these Prada America's Cup. Please do enjoy those. And I think we're going to stay on this topic of high fashion sneakers, designer sneakers, whether it's their own in-house stuff or collab stuff over the years, because it's really become a big thing at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, it was even like sneakers on the runway, early like 2012 or something like that was like a big deal. I remember it was like just seeing fashion shows in Paris, and there was like they weren't necessarily like brand. It was like public school Jordan 12s. I
Okay.
even remember, like, which is, fashion, but it was like not high fashion like Prada, but it was also like at a runway show. And I just remember like, man, it's like happening. You know what I mean? It's like to
That
see
crossover finally felt more official or more acceptable.
Yeah, like to see that on the runway. And then, of course, like the Saint Laurent takeoffs of the Jordan ones, which
I know you had a pair of those.
I had a pair of
Big
those.
JLP shoe.
That's like
Yeah.
that is such a Joe La Puma shoe.
Well, it was like, I remember when I got them, it was going to Kit's Coat of Arms in Paris pop-up. And like, they like came out.
I love that like the moments in your life
I just remember it.
are marked by the Kith trips.
No, yeah.
Like some of us are historical
those are all
events.
the
like,
comments.
Well, if I'm not there, I'm here. Let's be honest. If I'm not there, I'm either at Flight
Comments are
Club
always
Stadium
like,
Goods
oh,
or
we're gonna
here.
Talk about Kith again.
No, it's
Every
like,
week.
no, but like, that's a legit, like, so that was 2014.
That was the Puma collection.
Yeah,
Coat
and I
of Arms,
remember
yeah.
I got like, I think it was the blue and black,
you paid for them.
paid for them, Saint Laurent.
Do you remember how much they were? Because that's a big
I don't. I
point
have
of
the
contention for
Instagram.
me when
Is
it
the
comes to these
price-
type of shoes. It's like it always felt to an extent like they were taking from sneakers, but also taking sneakers out of the context of being, easily accessible, or like this. The sneakers to me did so much to democratize fashion, but then when you take a sneaker or you take the things that the sneakers make cool and put them in this world that's way less accessible in terms of retail price, it's like
It
what
was
are
a
we doing
big
here?
purchase, and you guys may know me. Like, I justify, like, well, I'm gonna be in Paris, and it's like this is a thing, and like some like sentiment, like, oh, I'll not remember the shoe for this trip, but like it was definitely a thing. And I remember getting it that night. We were flying out to Paris, and I was like, oh, I got these. I got the Saint Laurent like Jordan one. I think it was the Royal one First, not the bread ones. But I was
What
like,
is that shoe called?
Isn't SL like SL01? I think.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Not the most important thing. Sorry.
yeah, it's actually the Court Classic SL10H.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But I remember like that was like the first time where, and then I start thinking to myself, like, wait, am I going to be into like high fashion footwear? Cause I was always like,
That was your first designer sneaker?
yeah.
Yeah.
And this was like, was this like Balmain jean?
And like the ripped Saint Laurent jeans. Yeah.
Sure.
This
Leather
on noir
pants.
leather pants era, which I love, still love. Leather pants still held up the test of time. Your boy was an early adopter. Let's be honest. Come on.
I'll give you that.
Okay. But yeah, I feel like that's a shoe that you did not like.
Well, here's the thing. I guess it's like I feel like this like everything you need like context on it, right? So it's like
Absolutely.
high fashion and sneakers starts in the 80s with, like Hustlers, New York City, paid in full sort of era. That's like where this comes from,
Sure.
right? So you have the first shoe, the Gucci Tennis 84. It's the shoe that Jay-Z
I
based.
still want a pair of those.
They're so great.
The shoe that Jay-Z bases the Reebok S. Carter
Big Russ Bankston shoe.
For sure.
off of. And
The Gucci. No.
so that was like obviously like for a lot of people, it's like I feel like if you talk to Clark or someone like that, they're like that is the only high fashion shoe to
Yeah.
some extent that matters. Like that's the high fashion sneaker.
Gucci Tennis 84.
Yeah.
good.
And then at some point, because you always had like guys who wore like Air Force Ones and whatnot, like wearing Gucci, like in especially that whole like early era streetwear, like the Louis Vuitton,
The coin pouch?
the coin pouches.
Yo.
Remember
you,
that?
You know what we're talking like Wale with like a
little-
like a coin pouch
Yeah.
and a
I
carabiner
used to not
off the
have
belt.
Louis Vuitton, but it would be like a diamond like accessory,
pouch.
and I
Oh,
would
what are
try.
you
thought
putting
you were
in
gonna
the
say you had,
coin
like,
pouch?
Coach.
The biggest one was Don C. Don C was like the OG of that, and then like Big Sean did
I
it. But
wanted a coin pouch for
so did I. It was
But
just
what-
hanging.
What
it was
would you
Louis
put in
Vuitton.
it?
I think I put like
Money.
no. I think I put like my complex ID in it. But I remember. So here's what I used to do. Very very funny. You bring that up. What I used to do is I would take like an ID holder if it was like diamond or a streetwear because they were doing it.
Sure,
and
sure,
I
sure.
remember like it wasn't meant to be worn on the belt. I would take like the leather like string or whatever and tie it around my belt loop so it looked
Like it was hanging.
like it was hanging like yeah and then like every day I would get home and it'd like have to unknot the thing but it was like everyone wanted
like
those
we did like a fisherman's knot.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Everyone wanted
Regular
those Louis
sailor over
Vuitton
here.
coin pouches.
Yeah. I just-
Ivan Jasper, I think
No, it was a
that
huge
whole
thing.
crew had it. Yeah,
That was a huge thing. That was like the whole like Tisa sort of
Yes.
era. Of,
Yeah.
and the pouch chains.
Yeah.
I mean,
that,
who could forget the pouch chain?
that whole era. But then
Great era.
at some point it was like high fashion footwear became kind of like that, like Euro trashy sort of like thin, like Gucci shoes, like diesel looking sneakers, where it's like they didn't like even though you were into sneakers and into high fashion, you wouldn't wear those silhouettes.
Did you guys ever have a pair of those diesel sneakers that were so pop? You know which ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, I never.
What is the diesel sneaker that we're talking about?
I think it's called the
It had
the Evelyn leather. It was this. It was
like
so
the ultimate like 2002, 2003 era.
these.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They had like the sole that came around the
No,
top.
I have never owned
Looked like
any
some
of that.
bowling shoes.
Yeah.
What about German army trainers? You guys ever do that? That was a huge
That was
Margiela thing.
That was the one that the Margiela shoe was based off of.
The German army trainer.
Looks like a Samba.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like Welty, I could have seen you
I
maybe
would've
getting
wa-
into that at the time.
I think because some people said you can like in Germany you can get the actual like
the vintage pairs.
for like super cheap or something like
The
that.
ones that they're based on.
Yeah,
I feel like that was an early moment too of people.
the Margiela replica it's called.
Yeah, finding a sneaker that European fashion house did and being like, this is the one. This is something, because people weren't really turning to those brands for sneakers, and those brands I feel like, and I have never shopped at any of those brands, so I don't really know the history super well, but didn't really focus a lot on sneakers or have a lot of memorable sneakers or sneaker output that was
Or having the shoe
culturally important.
itself was like the flex rather than how good the shoe was. Because I might go on record saying this, that the worst high fashion shoe, or at least one of them of all time, is like the Louis Vuitton like spike.
Just in general, that whole way.
But you know
That's
it's
the
a
one,
really-
right? The spike shoes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awful.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's a shoe that did not hold up. And I remember having conversations with Trinidad about this because there was a whole era.
Does he like them?
No, where he had a whole era where he like felt the need to buy all that stuff, and then he just realized he's like, why am I buying these $1,000 designer shoes when they're not going to be cool in 3 months, and then you're never going to be able to wear them again?
Yeah.
But it happens fast. It's like think about it, and I asked you guys this question. When a high fashion silhouette takes off, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see like sometimes brands, even like Nike and Adidas, struggle with new silhouettes to pop off. It seems though when high fashion brands do it and it hits, sometimes it hits more often than even the big brands.
They can feel ubiquitous at times, yeah. I mean, the Triple S was probably
Yeah.
the best.
Well,
of
you
all
But
had-
what about the
you had-
Balenciaga Arena? That's a really good shoe to
Yeah.
me. That was huge.
That
you don't
was
like it?
that was a moment. No, at the
Huge.
time, I would have worn a pair of Balenciaga.
I think I would have
Arenas.
like an all black pair or the red pair. Like
surely you had a pair of Balenciaga Arenas.
Never.
No,
Never.
Well, I mean, I know.
No,
Welty,
no.
But do you like
But-
that shoe?
Not so much.
I feel like we got to give the Balenciaga Arena its props.
And we did in our
Yeah.
sneaker of the yearbook.
Well, I think one of
We
the
did.
shoes, one of the shoes too early on that mattered that we'd be remiss to just gloss over is obviously the first Kanye West Louis Vuitton
Oh my god.
Not gonna lie, I definitely looked those up last
collection,
week.
and I
Trying
think
to
we
see how
had.
much.
Just to see.
I think we had. I don't know if we spoke about it when we had Matt Halfhill from Nice Kicks on here, and he said that was like one of the biggest posts that they ever had.
They had the
With
line sheet, I
they had
remember
the-
it.
Yeah, the prices on the original.
I have
And the-
such a vivid memory of seeing somebody with those in college. So at
Really?
the time, at the time.
You
And
going
this
to
was-
the 8 a.m. economics class and someone's wearing the Louis Vuitton Dons?
My man pulled up to Linguistics 301 with the all red Louis Vuitton Dons, and I was fucked up because I knew
Bro,
this kid.
what?
He wasn't a friend of mine, but I was like, he wasn't a sneaker person. I was like, how does he have those?
And they were like $1,000. Right?
Yeah, at retail. And keep in mind, this was, 10, 12 years ago. So this was at a point when you could still have those moments that people talk about where you see somebody else on campus or wherever around your town in sneakers, and you're like, oh, we have something in common. We're both into this kind of subcultural niche thing of sneakers. So especially when you saw somebody with a pair of all red Louis Vuitton Dons on with the Dune style padded collar around the back, and I had to ask him, I was like, did you pay retail or you paid resale? He was like, yeah, retail. And I think what it was, in college there's always those like schemes where you can get paid for being a salesman for something like Cutco knives or something like that. So I think he had spent a summer being a textbook salesman or something like that, calling people up on the phone to sell textbooks or something like that. And he had earned a bunch of money doing it and bought himself a pair of
Who did you make
all-red-
friends with him?
I think one of my friends was a friend of his.
That's a-
we never really connected too deep, but probably did homework together a couple times or something.
That's a different type of flex.
I know, and back then, like,
Listen, I was at Jonathan's at the student union at UConn with the G Unit sneakers, but
You thought you were doing it.
ordering like a chicken sandwich or a burger. I thought I was doing it. The Louis Vuitton Dons in college is a different type of flex.
and to me, that's still one of the best designer sneakers. We can talk about the collaboration stuff,
Yeah.
you know, when designer brands started to work with
Sportswear
brands, with sneaker brands, Nike, Adidas, Puma, whatever. But to me, just in terms of brand only designer shoes, like, I
That's
mean,
it.
I guess that's also a collaboration, so maybe you don't count it, but like, that's the one to me.
And that was
is the Kanye West Louis Vuitton.
And,
That was
and him in the
facilitated-
hotel room with the
Yeah.
content piece
Yeah,
where he has.
yeah.
Well, that was facilitated by Marc Jacobs, who was at Louis Vuitton at the time.
Yep.
Marc Jacobs also early on had the Vans
Yeah.
collaboration.
I had those.
Which I know.
did?
Patent leather.
The patent leather
Ooh,
skate highs.
Another one that I
wish- yeah, I wish I had a pair of
Mark
Mark-
Seekings. Do you know Mark Seekings? He
No.
actually worked with Kanye. He has a really good clothing line.
Okay.
He brought those out like a couple months ago, and then I started looking for them online. You know where I got those? Pickyourshoes.com.
There was like
Really?
a watermelony sort of
It was-
colorway where
mine
it
was navy blue with a light blue Vans
I
logo.
think there was a white and green with like a pink or something like that.
I was working here, and I remember walking in those. Very tough, very stiff, but
And loud, right?
yeah, like
I would
but
like a pair of those.
great pair.
I have a
Can't
soft spot
find
in
them.
my heart for Marc Jacobs because a woman I used to date worked for Marc Jacobs, so I
Okay,
got a lot of
brings you a
samples in
little
the closet.
back. Okay, you went down to the meat packing
Want that old
district.
thing back.
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not. But
Okay.
just the
Visited
shoes
at
and-
work. She was working at the store, or
no, not at the store.
oh,
Just-
okay.
corporate.
No, the store is great too.
yeah, I mean, but
Okay,
it's not talking retail here.
okay. I love those shoes.
Oh,
But that whole era, you know, and then like Brendan said, then it goes on to the collaborative era. And I
Yeah.
remember that like very vividly because I was working at Complex at the time. I think I didn't get a chance, I think you probably had mentioned this on here, it was the first in one of the very few chances I got to actually write something for the magazine was the first Raf Simons Adidas collection, the first time that they had ever done it. Like we had featured it, and like I remember seeing the Oswego's and thinking those were cool.
I had
And
those,
to
yeah.
me, the
Ooh,
Stan Smith.
those are
I
amazing.
wore
I
those
would
a lot.
love.
wish-
I would
I wore
love a
those a
pair
lot.
of the original white and green Stan Smiths, the
Raf
Raf
Stan
Simmons
Smiths, yeah.
ones, as well as I think the pink ones were really cool too. There were
Okay.
some colors that I wasn't into as much, or like there's some that are like they're a bit like shiny, like that has like a glossy leather to it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
I remember
like-
those bronze ones, that
Yeah, not-
bronze metallic one. I remember seeing that in Adidas preview and being like, "Ooh!" But then again, they're
Oh,
so
these were so
expensive. Like
good.
the
Yeah, no, I
Stan
wasn't-
Smiths for $300 or $400. I mean, they eventually went on sale, but it was
Yeah, it
come
wasn't.
on.
Yeah, I think they did like the slides too, which were pretty sweet. But I
Yeah.
remember seeing like some of this stuff, and I'm like, some of this is cool, and some of it was like a little just like they had like knee high boots and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this like I don't understand it.
Man,
good.
Raf Oswego's to me hold up, and to me those kind of helped
Yeah,
set
they're
the
great
tone
shoes.
So good.
for like chunky, techie looking
Yeah.
sneakers like
Yeah.
that. I
Yep.
mean, not super directly with all the stuff we see now, but that shoe was around for a while, and like
The color
you know,
blocking also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
those
great.
those look with those like jewel looking,
Yeah.
you know,
Amazing.
like bulbous patches on them. Oh,
This guy is holding it up with a Bape hoodie. Is this me? No. Okay.
Because
Okay.
you had also like there were a lot of shoes in that in between space too. Because there was like I think Raf Simons did like a Vandal looking shoe before that.
really? I mean, there's the Rick Owens.
Rick
like,
Owens dunks.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you've never had a pair of Rick Owens dunks, Joe.
Geo baskets. or
No,
something.
those high tops.
Yeah.
No.
It's too far away from a sneaker for me. That's like I remember
I
actually.
think the calves would look a little, you know, a
Joe,
little stumpy.
but you also had the Rick Owens. I think you mentioned it earlier. Rick Owens Adidas.
Yes, I like those a lot. I didn't wear those as a high fashion collab though. I wore those as like everyday
Oh, I
sneakers.
thought you were going to say you were on the treadmill with
And-
them.
No,
What
no,
was it?
no, I
Rick
gotta
Owens
draw the line.
Spring Blade. Remember, there was
Oh,
a Rick
that
Owens
shit was awful.
Spring Blade.
Spring
Spring Blade
Blade.
is a shoe
Right.
that like Adidas got sued over,
Yeah,
right?
people like getting their feet caught in like
Hold
the
on
stairs.
though. One thing that we are missing, the Y3 era.
Y3,
Y3,
Y3 Casa.
and
Jerry Lorenzo,
also, yes, Jerry wore those.
the
Y3.
Zig Boost, whatever.
What about the skinny ones that people were wearing? The hold on, let's get that. Lupe wore it.
This is a Y3 shoe.
Yeah,
a
Lupe
Y3
wore it.
Adidas shoe.
But this was like
Y3.
before the
Lupe
Before the
wore it in
Casa
a
wave and all that.
Yeah.
Lupe wore it in a complex shoot. It was like the one that really put them on the map. It was super skinny, almost looked like a wrestling shoe.
I don't remember these.
I'm going to show you guys real quick.
Please do.
But Y3, I had, and then Y3 did like a sneaker boot that was amazing. Y3 had a bunch of.
Does Y3 Adidas still exist?
I think so.
I feel like you just don't hear.
Yeah.
These are
anything
them.
about it these days.
Hanjas. Do you guys remember this? Lupe actually wore
I
these.
think I remember you talking about this once, but I don't remember the shoes.
Lupe definitely wore these. I know they look bad in this photo.
That's a
Shouts to eBay. The photos on this
found a
seller,
photo on
not
eBay.
the best, but like, do you remember
a
these?
Terribly
No.
flattering photo.
You don't remember these? See, I was.
Those aren't particularly memorable to me. based
Bring
on
it
the
back,
photo.
and I know this is going to be a love it or hate it moment.
Okay.
But to do the weekly call out, our friend PG has told me on multiple occasions that he thinks that the Riccardo Tisci Air Force Ones are one of the most heinous shoes
Really?
he's ever seen.
Like the mids, even?
He hates that sneaker.
That's a little weird hill to die on a little bit.
Really?
That shoe to me just kind of like hurts my brain just because it's like you say in that era, just that shoe became so ubiquitous. Like
Yeah.
that Riccardo Tisci Air Force One. Obviously, the Givenchy stuff in that era was just like
Sure,
so overkill.
Saturated.
Just
yeah.
peak like you being like a shoe dog and
Yeah,
me coming in the office and you're like, this mother wearing the like if he only that's peak Welty.
Well,
like,
it was also
I mean,
like
that's a big part of why we don't like these things,
it's
right?
No,
peak
but it was
Welty,
like,
like,
no,
oh,
thing in
I'm
our
like
head.
unboxing them and he's like this.
there was
mother-
also peak like when I was like an intern at Complex in 2012 when we used to do the spotted posts where it was like
I love those,
but it was like
though.
spotted Kanye West wearing like insert fashion brand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they were like cheap, easy posts that you could just get up, and I think we probably got sued for like half of them.
Paparazzi
I mean,
photos.
that's what, dude. That's
No, but no, the
Instagram.
game.
I know,
that's
no, but
Instagram before Instagram.
2012 though, it was like spotted so and so wears a Givenchy Rottweiler T-shirt. I remember getting an email being like, unless it's someone like Kanye West or Pharrell, we are not posting any more
Not for me.
Rottweiler T-shirts on the website.
Reminds me of another edict from a Complex higher up who won't be named that was no more fucking puppy dogs, but we'll save that story for another
Puppy dogs are
day.
back, by the way. Puppy dogs are back.
Riccardo Tisci Air Force Ones. I still like that shoe. I feel like
I think the tan
I like that
lows
shoe.
are okay.
The tan ones were-
the
the
tan
tan-
low is the only one that I kept. I think I had the white mids and I sold them. And obviously the boot pair, you know, I think it was women's only, right, with the shin length
yeah,
covering.
we talked about that on the
Yeah,
Victor
yeah.
Cruz episode with
Yeah.
the calves busting.
Those
out.
were super bricks.
The
I mean,
tan
those
ones were
were
great, though.
outlets for
The
hella
tan ones.
cheap.
I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Yeah, the tan ones. That
The
was part
tan
of that
ones were
whole
really good. I thought.
veg tan era. You know, everybody wanted that like nude looking leather. Yeah.
And then Nike did like the veg tan Air Force, like
yeah.
shortly
Yeah,
after
for
that.
sure. And Tisci also had that like, was it a dunk? The Riccardo Tisci dunk that like had the blazer looking swoosh
Yeah,
on it. I feel
think,
like
I think you had that shoe, Joe.
yeah, Joe
No, I
definitely
think
had
you
that
did.
shoe. Yeah. But
Big
there-
swoosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
There's
the
a
black
lot
and
of-
white. I wore those.
He also
a
did
lot.
another Air Force One that
Wore
was
that
a
for
super
this.
brick.
I wore
What
those
was-
for the Sebastian Maniscalco.
yeah, that other Riccardo Tisci Air Force One sucked. The one with like the stars on it, right?
Yeah, it was like a McDonald's looking colorway.
I mean, there's a lot of forgettable stuff from that time when that was where Nike was like working with designers, but not like actually working with the brand. Like they didn't do a Givenchy shoe, but they did
Yeah.
a Riccardo Tisci shoe. They
Like, they
didn't do a
did the-
Balmain shoe, but they did
did
Olivier Rostaing.
Yeah,
I don't know
who-
if I'm saying his name right, but those
Yeah, he ripped off the
Michael Johnson.
Yeah, he ripped off
Shout
the
out to
Michael
Brad Hall.
Johnson
Brad Hall reviewing
Joe
the Tisci
found
dunk.
a photo here of Brad Hall in the
trainers, and I
Tiscis.
remember interviewing Michael Johnson, and I showed him the Olivier Roussatang shoe, and he's like, "That's my shoe." Like,
But again, how forgettable. Like
Yeah.
there's some of that stuff were just like you didn't need to make that. Like
Well-
I couldn't. You couldn't tell me. I'll offer you 100. Well, no, wait, maybe not because his memory is insane. But
Yes.
to tell me any of the shoes that were in that Olivier Roustang,
yeah.
I have no
It was
idea.
like
even if
a
I'm saying.
Roshi looking thing.
Man, the
Yeah,
spotted days.
You couldn't name those shoes.
The spotted days were probably peak me being like, we got to post this up.
So and so wore this. Yeah.
Definitely.
Breaking.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
remember like working the weekends like 2012, 2013, and
Don't-
like no, I'm not saying anything bad.
No, I'm just saying, don't make any stories up about me. But go
I'm
ahead.
not making up any stories.
I
about
know.
you.
I'm kidding. I'm
no,
kidding.
but it was like I forget who it was, but it was like there was someone who had like a friends and family like red pair of On Noir like jogger pants. And-
Kanye, I think.
or I forget who had them, but
Did I say it?
It was someone, and we're like, no, but we had posted it, and I remember you were like really hyped about us posting the.
Made up story or not?
No, I was
It may
definitely,
have
You were
gotten the
excited.
JLP retweet or something like that.
definitely like.
Definitely the agenda you were pushing.
I'm sorry to keep doing this, but
Lifting up the laptop.
These are them.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Make sure that we can clear that image because
Yeah.
you're showing it on your laptop.
Seems like
you're
it's at
holding it
Getty.
up. Okay, good. As long as it's at
on
Getty.
seems like it's on Getty. Yeah, the red joggers.
Yeah. My
What a
thing
time.
was during that era was that like it's weird to see like the crossover sometimes between the high fashion world and the sneaker world, because being in the middle of it for the longest time, it felt like the fashion people like kind of like snubbed or like looked down upon sneakerheads.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you were a fashion person, you weren't really into shoes. I'm talking like 2011, 2012. Before, like, and then all of a sudden people started getting into like Flyknit racers, and then like they discovered the Air Force One mid, and they're obsessed with Air Force Ones now, and it's like, but before that they're like sneakerheads.
Projecting.
But no, I mean,
No, I'm just kidding.
Go on.
worked with a lot of people like
no,
that.
I just
but-
love it because again, this is you watching this as like a younger, complex, tenured employee, and just like like the Arthur meme, just like this, right?
Yeah,
which I love. It makes
no,
you.
I know it's funny. It's
a
funny.
gatekeeper in the making.
Yeah,
No, and I
just-
can admit it because these were a lot of things,
which
a lot
I love.
Of things
That's
that
what
I
made you
a lot of things that at
you
the
are today.
time,
Yes.
a lot of things at the time I probably couldn't have expressed my disdain towards other people telling me that this is what's cool or this is what isn't cool. But now that like 7 years have passed, I'm like, man, I hated those
You feel
shoes.
vindicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
Like
you
the
can
whole
express
like it's
it.
like let me let it out.
Yep.
But you know, it's like there was a big kind of like sneakerheads are whack. You know, it's like you guys wear your high stance socks and KD sneakers. Like we're not into sneakers, but all of a sudden it's like Comme des Garçons just wearing
I
all
never
black or
felt that,
all
though.
white. Discovered the Air Force One or discovered the Flyknit Racer, and they're like, no, we're into shoes now.
We got to talk about CDG too, because I feel like their catalog is one of the deepest Nike ones, and also one of the like most inconsistent.
So this is interesting because
Air 180s though, good.
180s are good
95s.
or great.
Okay,
the
but
95s are great.
Listen, Comme des Garçons.
The foam
I know
posits.
they're about pushing boundaries. The foam posits are good, but they made a fucking Air Force One with a plastic dinosaur attached to it. Like who
those
at
are crazy.
Nike is like
Right, that
okaying
one.
these things? Like what group is like, yeah, this is what we want for the Air Force One, a shoe that at times has been protected and treated as an icon that you can't tamper with too much, and then you let CDG put a plastic dinosaur
on the toe box.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean there have been some good CDG shoes.
The
but
180 is.
I don't even know if I
yeah.
could say that CDG's Nike work overall is better than it is. You know, like there's more good than bad. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
think
mean, you
it's.
have people like Junya who
Yeah.
like made the first aged or distressed Nike
Yeah.
shoes.
And the CDG Junior stuff like goes back to '99. The Zoom Haven, you know, that
Yeah.
all black pair. Like that's a rich history.
180s,
Yeah,
top
great.
tier. Air Max 95s, top tier. The foam posit, you don't think top tier?
The '95s.
They're good.
They're really good.
Okay,
Also, your boy
okay.
Lorenz.
Lorenz, that's like his shoe.
taking it up a notch.
Yep.
CDG foams, great.
Okay, where do we go from there?
Okay, so
What
the
about the
Talaria you guys don't like, but it's triple black. I like that one.
Carnivores?
Yeah, I mean, that's the stuff that's just not top tier.
One of the shoes though that
But you okay? Sorry, go ahead.
no, one of the shoes that we were remiss not to mention that I think was a huge early
Carnivore, yeah.
connector of these worlds in a very authentic way. That I don't know if we mentioned it here, but Russ Benson wrote a story about it on Complex years ago. We did a huge photo shoot that's totally
Do you know what
ostentatious.
this is?
Hold on, let me think.
Totally
I don't know what it is.
Totally ostentatious. I had to like.
Let me
we
think.
Got the whole shoes. Got like fake Rolex watches and did a photo shoot with chains and everything. Velvet
Could have just asked.
backgrounds.
Is it the Buscemi shoe?
No.
It's a
It-
Nike.
Yes.
A Nike
What year?
sneaker?
I think either 06.
Oh man,
Oh, it's like on the tip of my tongue.
Nike.
No, I have a guess. No, I don't know what. And this is a shoe you said that blended the worlds of
Yes.
designer fashion and sportswear,
Yes.
and it's a Nike sneaker from
Yes.
2006.
What's Silo?
Well, that would totally give it
Okay,
away.
sorry.
I am.
06. That's early. You
Supreme
weren't here.
Blazers.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But that's a different thing. That's an homage.
That- yeah.
that's
No, but
not
I'm
like
saying, but it blended the world
Sure,
between
sure.
the two.
I
Sure.
like the.
It
yeah,
had the snakeskin swoosh on it.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
came
yeah.
in
the little
It came in the Gucci colorways. It came in red, white, and black.
the hint on the heel of like the yeah.
and like the quilting on it, like Chanel bag style.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess that's why I was having trouble guessing it, because to me that's like a separate world, because we're
Yeah.
talking about
But that was one of the first shoes I felt like that really like
reference that type of luxury sportswear type of thing.
yeah
Yeah.
in a very
But
obvious
like
way.
the Huff Air Max 90 was done in like Louis Vuitton. Remember that? That was a big that was
brown and yellow.
Yeah,
one.
when I was like
remember-
interning at
also,
Complex.
You remember the New Balance like luggage pack? Remember
Yeah.
that was a similar type of thing. By
you
the
had
way,
those Don C Air Jordan 2s.
Yeah,
Chanel
And-
bag.
speaking of Russ, who will get plenty of mentions on any episode of the Complex Sneakers podcast, I do want to mention a shoe in this ilk that he gave to me was the Converse Margiela project, which I think
That was the shoe that like it was all white and it cracked.
Yeah,
well,
white and blue.
it was you didn't necessarily know I think what the color was underneath, but it had the paint all around it. I like those a lot. I don't think I ever wore them. I think I still have them dead stock, but to me I like that more than the Margiela Reebok stuff with the tabby toe. Like
Yeah, that Converse was like a marbleized kind of like looking, right? It was white with like
Yeah.
marble
Yeah.
marble blue hints.
well, the blue was just underneath it.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was all white pair of
It was like
chucks
it was
that
a
were
blue
painted
pair of
white,
chucks that
and
were
then it
painted over it.
then
Yeah,
it would
yeah, yeah.
break. This isn't a shoe, Joe, but the whole crossover era. Did you ever have the Versace H&M jacket?
No. I know exactly when Kanye wore that for the first time. Do you? It was a specific event.
It
I
was
can
at-
remember
It was at
the
was that a
photo.
runway show or
Close.
It was at a concert, right?
Close.
This is the same man who
Award
remembers
show?
exactly when the red leather jogger pants came out,
It was
so
the
he definitely knows.
It was the Victoria's Secret
Okay.
runway show. Yeah,
I have the image in my head.
those were all over the city.
That was an era.
I'm surprised you didn't have that though.
I mean,
honestly.
I'm sure I thought about it, but yeah, man.
Can we
that
talk
whole-
about the Triple S?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
'Cause-
I interrupted you with the arena, but
Oh,
the
no,
Triple
no, no,
S.
no. Oh, did I bring it up earlier?
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, I mean, like, the Triple S to me was such a watershed moment, too, that helped usher in this new era of designer sneakers, but also the chunky sneaker thing to an extent. And, I still hate that shoe, and I think I'm predisposed, like Welty, in some of the same ways to just, like, automatically dismiss something from a designer house. But, I mean, that thing with the multiple soles that did come before, like Sachs, LDV, Waffle, you know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
did kind of, like, set the trend for that stuff.
And I mean, even this shoe to some degree has like I know like a lot of people say that New Balance takes from it, but this feels like a chunky sort of take on.
Some of the same language.
There's definitely been sneakers that are like that I wear a lot. Not that I wear a lot, but like to walk around in.
Yeah.
That are like very, very chunky and it feels longer than like an 11 or 11 and a half.
Like the
And I'm-
Sachs joints?
Yeah.
And if you watch
And I'm like, this is what a Triple S must feel like.
Yeah.
that shoe was just that if you watch the first episode of Full Size Run where Trinidad was a guest,
He had them on.
he showed up in the all black. I think
Yeah.
they had white laces, Triple S, and he goes. I don't know why I watched this
Recently?
and the comments were funny to read through the comments because it's a lot of people who watched it like in the years since, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Dad showed up on the show and then ended up becoming the host." He's like, "I'm the host now," or something like that. But his quote was, he goes, "I wore these today." He said, number one, he goes, "Why the fuck not?" And he goes, "And I wore them because I know." And he's sitting next to Brendan, and he goes, "I know because you hate them."
I mean, I do still hate that shoe, but I think it deserves some props. But like, there's other like the Balenciaga Speedrunner, the knit sock one. That
Oh, yeah.
is
The
But the-
sock runner.
just
Oh yeah,
goofy.
Speedrunner. Yeah.
I think it's called the Speedrunner.
Yeah.
And
That's
more recent-
I almost think that shoe's more ubiquitous than the Triple S.
Yeah, it had a moment. I just see people wearing them. I'm like, you spent what do those cost? Probably like $800-900. Like,
And it's such a cheap looking shoe.
oh,
The Triple S, though, was one of those silhouettes.
I'm surprised you never got a pair, no?
No, I
that's what it.
never got a pair. But man,
Welty,
did,
like
that,
this shoe is terrible. Next
did
sentence
that-
is, I'm surprised you never got a pair.
did that pop off? Like,
Yeah.
And I remember when we were doing Sneaker Stories, the remote show during the pandemic.
Oh, Offset said how much he hate like.
Well, it was not only Offset, but it was like your regrettable purchase, and they didn't say like, "Oh, regrettable," but what they said is like, "I have 5 to 10 pairs of these sitting in my closet," and multiple people said it. But it just shows
$10,000.
it just shows how big of a moment that was, and yeah. the
Were you ever
Triple
tempted
S.
by him?
No.
No, you knew
No.
it wasn't for you. I feel like you have the calves to make it work.
You could get. You imagine the calf pump that you could get.
It's like the strength shoes.
Yeah.
Remember the strength shoes for
Yeah,
eBay?
yeah.
You getting buckets in the strength shoes in Portland or no? That's. I feel like
I haven't gotten very many buckets.
I think
in my
Larry
life.
Johnson was in the. Remember, you saw those in the East Bay catalog,
Yeah,
and you're
at the
always
end,
like,
and they're
Do
supposed
I
to make you
need-
jump higher.
"Do I need these?"
Isn't
No.
there like a Seinfeld episode with
Yes.
the string?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta admit, one Balenciaga sneaker I do kind of like is the knockoff Asics looking one. Remember
the Justin Bieber one?
Yeah, Kith. I think Kith had it before anybody else. That was one where I was kind of like,
I think the only
Pharrell's been wearing them.
The cool thing
kinda
about
like
that
them.
one, or one of them, is they have like the European sizing. Like it looks like it's handwritten on the toe
oh, interesting.
of the shoe. It says like 43 and a half.
Yeah.
When we were in Vegas for Dana White, I went into the Prada store and saw the America's Cup, and then I went into the Balenciaga store and saw those Asics kind of take off.
Yeah.
What I will say though, because I was like, I like these. These are dope.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, like, they're really big. Like,
Yeah. There's a lot of real
you know
estate.
what's
on
in
really
the
person.
site.
In person, they're really, really big. But yeah, I like
The
those.
Lanvin skate shoe.
I don't know if I know it. Is that the Lanvin shoe from a while ago that had the toe?
Yeah.
That Travis
Yeah.
was wearing and
The one
Yachty.
with like the laces that are like this thick.
Oh,
on
no,
it.
no, no.
People are
Okay,
still
I'm
wearing
thinking of
that.
an older Lanvin
Yeah.
shoe. I'm
No,
sorry.
not
I'm
the
sorry.
cap toe one.
Yeah.
But like
yeah.
the new like Osiris.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one popped off. Yeah. I feel like that moment's already over, though, right?
Yeah.
Do people still care about that shoe? See, the funny thing is, too, we're
haven't been
big time
inside.
sneaker people, but we don't know the names of any of these shoes. One, because they're kind of elusive, and two, because
feel like they
it's this
don't-
thing of like,
yeah, but I
these
feel
aren't-
like-
this isn't from our world.
I feel like those shoes, because sometimes we'll do like, because I do all like the call out individual shoes on sneaker shopping,
Yeah.
where you
Appreciate
have to
that.
like say the
Yeah.
name of
Yeah.
it, and sometimes they'll be talking about those sneakers, and I have to like look up
Yeah.
on like Neiman Marcus, like the
Yeah.
name
Yeah,
of
the
this,
actual
and it's
model
like
name.
Yeah.
but like the name of it sometimes, and I don't even know if this is even the official names, but it's like Y3. Or it's like, Lanvin trainer suede leather, like that.
Something not distinctive at all.
And you're like, what?
Like, that's the name of this?
But we should probably transition into talking about some of the actual, not, I don't want to say bigger ones, but number one, we have to talk about the Dior Jordan 1.
Yeah.
The
The
culmination.
culmination.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it. We'll talk after the Dior one about the current, like,
Louis Vuitton.
Louis
joints,
Vuitton
yeah.
Air Force One, but like the culmination of high fashion and big sneaker brand mashing. And I think the Dior one was definitely a standout moment where,
Yeah.
like,
I still think it's kind of a mediocre shoe.
I'm not into them.
For the,
Also tough for me to
how
judge
much
because
is
it's
that
white.
shoe- how much is that shoe going for now?
I think like $8,000 or so. I was actually at Stadium Goods this past weekend and I saw a few on the shelf. Also, it's hard to see. The quality looks quite
8,000.
good. Yeah.
8,000.
But like every time I've seen the shoe, it's been on the shelf at a store under shrink wrap. So it's hard to really
Check.
tell
Interact with
what
it.
it really looks like. But to me, that Dior Jordan 1, we ranked it pretty high in our sneakers of the year.
Actually, we didn't rank it that high.
Yeah, that's all the sneaker
I
of the
think,
year
it got, I
panel.
think it
that's-
got slandered.
yeah,
in the,
well, the sneaker
I
of the
think it
year
was like
panel.
number 6 or something like that.
I think that's when they were like, "Are you kidding? That's the number one. That's the
No,
number one,"
no.
and we didn't have it high.
I mean,
at
to
all.
me, and again, we'll talk about the Louis Vuitton Air Force One, but that Dior Jordan 1 didn't have a great justifiable reason to exist. Like, it looked incredible. They got into detail about the hand-rolled edges, and, the colorway was clean enough, and it's cool because Kim Jones is a sneaker guy,
Yeah.
so he helped orchestrate the project. But there wasn't a lot of background or a lot of natural crossover to me between Air Jordan and Dior. It was just like, I don't know why this exists per se. You know what I mean?
It just felt like, and I think we had, it was the last episode of Full Size Run that we shot before the pandemic happened with Big Body Bess. Legendary episode where like he was
Yes.
talking about Brendan strangling himself. But I think that was the first time we had seen it, and we showed it to Bess, who's going to give you a very genuine reaction to what he's seeing, and he's like, "Why does this exist?" He's like, "This is something you would have bought at Canal Street back in the day," and I feel like that's a lot of like the energy that people have tried to tap, or even Virgil to some degree has
Yeah.
like tried to tap into with some of the stuff they've done with Louis Vuitton. Right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm looking up because there's another reason I really hate the shoe, and I hope I can find it. One of the funny things that happened, everybody wanted to know what was happening with the Dior Jordans as they were coming out. Oh, here we go. And one of the funny things was there were some mock-ups or some leaked images, some flats of the apparel floating around.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and this guy from Dior who's like a designer at Dior, like not even like a legal person, but he reached out to me. He's
Threatened
like,
to sue you?
"Please remove the Dior." I'm reading off. I was a little distracted because I found the old email urgent Dior Jordan Instagram post. "Please remove the Dior Jordan Instagram post from earlier today. The products on this post are fake. You are promoting the sale of fake goods. If you fail to do this, you will be contacted by our legal team." A guy who's a fucking designer is like threatening the legal team on me because some Dior Jordan apparel, either mock-ups or early leaks got out, and I was
You're
like,
like,
listen,
bro, shut
buddy.
up. You're like, I'll put you in a Boston crab. Like, relax.
No, I'm not threatening violence to anybody, but I do have a bit of a grudge against the shoe for that reason too.
Okay.
But that shoe, and we had mentioned it on the podcast like before, was like, oh, that was the litmus test of how much of an influencer you are if you got a pair.
Yeah, you've talked about that. Oh, was Joe? Were you?
No, I don't think
No, I'm
a
not
lot-
saying to you. I'm not saying it to
that
you.
was like, oh,
It was just like in general. It was like a lot of people felt some sort of way about like.
Yeah, but only
they didn't even
like-
want to ask for it because they felt like they were going to sun themselves.
but
like,
no one really got those.
I know, but that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like that's.
Robert Pattinson,
Of course.
Travis Scott.
It was like a
Roddy
shoe that
Ricch.
was instantly created for like celebrity to wear.
And this is why you hate the shoe.
But it was
I'm
created.
glad we're all admitting
it was
our
created
biases.
for that moment. Like it was created to be what the Off-White Jordan 1 became. Like the Off-White Jordan 1 wasn't really created in the sense that it was going to be the ubiquitous celebrity or
Right,
NBA
right.
tunnel shoe.
It just
but
became.
it became that, right? The Dior Jordan 1, I feel like, was created with the intention of just being that shoe from the jump.
You felt like it's one of those sneakers where it feels like it was made in a lab.
It was like manufactured.
Yeah, to like
In a
how
marketing
can we crank
meeting.
the hype up to the maximum possible amount, right?
Yeah.
And that's the type of shoe that I know you.
Yes. Not. But two in between thing that not sneakers, but or I guess there was a sneaker involved with it, but that probably we should mention real quick. Supreme Louis Vuitton, which predates
Yes.
Yeah.
which I feel
Yes.
like was one of
And there
them.
were sneakers in
The
there.
white and red one.
Yeah, but I feel like
Yep.
that sneaker doesn't really like.
Yeah, nobody cared about that sneaker.
But Supreme Louis Vuitton, what's his name? Canelo.
Yes.
bought
The hoodie on sneaker shopping.
Yes.
15 grand or something.
DJ Khaled.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was an important moment in making the connections between these two worlds official, because a lot of this is about formalizing those things that people have been doing for years or decades even. And
I
you said, like
I
that's
think
a-
Nick Diamond like had bought every single piece from the collection or
Oh
something
my
like that.
God. That's
I like the hoodie.
how could you even? I mean, yeah, Nick Diamond's a connected.
Of course.
man. He can
I
make
like
it
the
happen.
hoodie. Yeah.
Do you own it? I would like to. I would
own
like to own
nothing.
the Supreme Louis Vuitton track pants.
Ooh.
The brown ones with the monogram. I think those
Okay.
are very good. You don't own anything from it, Joe?
No.
Welty, you don't own anything.
No. That'll look like I own anything from it.
I gotta do my diligence. I can't just ignore you. You're
Right next to
sitting right there.
the Bass Pro Shop
Yeah.
closet.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we talked about it a lot already on this show and
Yeah,
earlier
give it a little
episodes,
time.
but to me, this is all building up. In this episode and also in the history of these shoes to the Louis Vuitton Air Force One, which I think is the best version of this.
That's the thing. Are we looking at the best version? The
It-
best
yeah.
versions of what we're talking about.
To me, yes, the Louis Vuitton Air
I think
Force
the
One.
stuff is really good.
It's so good.
I think
they're
it
so
is
good.
the zenith of luxury sportswear. I think that it makes the most sense. The background. I mean, you guys know how much I think about this stuff, so I could, and I've already written a lot about it,
Yeah.
and I could just talk about it for 40 minutes straight.
But it's just like,
Do you want me to?
I mean,
No.
go off. But it's what we've been talking about for the last hour or so,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been so many different examples of it. But this is like the best one.
Yeah.
Like the best one.
The cool thing too, the note that comes with some of the pairs, that some of the friends and family pairs floating around that they've posted, there's like a little explanation of it. I think it's from Virgil directly, and it says, "Sign of the times, the most authentic high-end sneaker ever made, transcending fashion into art objects through craftsmanship." And I think that even that word "authentic" does so much work here because the sneaker is about intellectual property and its genesis as a bootleg thing and how
Yes.
it kind of filtered through decades of originally being a Dapper Dan type style, and then in the early 2000s, people making bootleg pairs with Chanel logos
And
or
just-
Burberry logos, and then it popping back up, and then Virgil getting to make it official.
Yes.
Like that alone is
Yeah,
so
for sure.
special. Like,
And-
and that's the history that the Dior thing. Even though the Dior ones looked really good, hand roll edges, whatever, to me it didn't have that history to it to really justify it.
And it just also like popped up in popular culture so much. Like
Yeah.
the Jadakiss videos with it was a Gucci swoosh, but like same thing that you talk
I think
about.
Cam had like Louis Vuitton like custom Air Force Ones or whatever back in the day.
And the union stuff,
Yeah.
or Rafe Edelberg, this Canadian guy in Vancouver who was, I think he was cutting up actual Louis Vuitton bags and selling pairs to people like Union. I think Bobby Hundreds has said when he first met Ben Hundreds, I think it was Ben, one of them had a pair of black Air Force One lows with a Louis Vuitton swoosh on them. Like, this sneaker has existed through time as a dream and now is a reality. That is so special to me.
And they're just done perfectly. They're done so well.
Although
it's fitting that it comes from Virgil, who totally understands the whole story from like start to finish of what.
It's so deep. It's so late. Like
it reminds you of like that like early 2000s or 2000s era where people had the Louis Vuitton swag rags.
What do you
like
mean?
Jim Jones?
Yeah, just like the
scarves?
like the bandanas, you know,
Yeah,
like the fake
yeah.
Louis, or I don't know if they were fake or not, but like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I will say the Sotheby's project is really cool, and they're going to raise millions of dollars for black students in fashion, and that's really important. But I don't like that colorway particularly. The monogram and damier colorway that's exclusive to the Sotheby's auction, I think that's one of the worst ones that there is. I wish that they would have just done the monogram. Like, that would have looked a lot better, but... You know, and also I think that there are some bad colorways in the group because.
And I think we going to see those? I think we may see more of those.
There's a commercial. I think they worded it. I got to be specific with how they worded it, but there's still a commercial launch coming. So there are some more colorways that will actually be available exclusively at Louis Vuitton stores. And even the ones that are in that group, like there's a couple that I don't particularly like, but like the colorway that looks like it references the Bape shoes. Like that is so smart because that's a reference to
Although I don't
Bape.
think that colorway is one of the better ones.
No, I don't think it's one of the better ones either, but even like that in and of itself is a reference to a Bapesta, another sneaker that was a bootleg take on the Air Force One. Like
it was like almost a high fashion to some extent, high street, whatever you want to call it.
It runs so deep, and I'm still working on, I think, confirming all the details around it. I guess by the time this podcast comes out, I will have published it. But to me, one of the cool just discoveries I made in this too is like the sneakers have been attributed to Easy Rock, who wore them opposite Rob Bass on the 1988 album It Takes Two.
And Rob Bass got a pair.
Rob Bass got a pair, which is amazing. He thanked Clark Kent for making it happen. That. But one of the cool things is, so Easy Rock has this pair, and one of the first documentations of this bootleg Nike Air Force One with Louis Vuitton. I said I could go 40 minutes, and I'm going to do it.
All good.
But Louis Vuitton monogram on the swoosh, and everybody felt like that was a Dapper Dan style, and that was a Dapper Dan shoe, and that was the understood narrative. And Louis Vuitton's notes from the show where they debuted the sneaker explicitly were revised to mention Dapper Dan by name, just to give him his credit. I talked to Rob Bass, and Rob Bass told me everybody thought it was a Dapper Dan shoe. I thought Dapper Dan made that shoe. Dapper Dan famous for doing this kind of thing in the 80s, long before it was made formal. 40 minutes, right? So Rob Bass said, yeah, I always assumed it was Dapper Dan, but I did some digging, and I talked to my friend Sabrina, and I realized that Dapper Dan didn't make those shoes. Sabrina Lewis, a woman who was friends with Rob Bass and Easy Rock at the time,
had done it,
says she made the shoes. And I talked to Sabrina Lewis. She had this business called Sugar Love Fashions, and she said that she was making stuff like that because they couldn't afford Dapper Dan. So she is telling me basically that the sneakers Easy Rock was wearing on that cover were themselves a bootleg of the bootleg. Like, so the layers to it just go on and on.
Is that all going to be in the story?
It's all in the story. Like
Definitely
I said,
read that.
As we speak, it'll be published by the time this is out. But I
very interesting.
Yeah, and all the different sets.
No,
very
sorry.
interesting.
No,
you saw that?
That wasn't intentional.
I told you I could go on. And then
so funny. That was hilarious.
The friends and family group that is not releasing to retail, like even the people who are getting those shoes, we mentioned Rob Bass has a pair, Nelly getting a pair of the Air Force Ones is so cool, Jadakiss has a pair, like all these people who in some way played a part, whether it's from Virgil's side or from the hip hop side of like making this a mythical item or, you know, furthering it in pop culture. I love the Louis Vuitton Air Force One. And like I said, I'm actualizing me getting a pair. Yeah. We're going to make it happen.
You get that
somehow.
pair, we're putting it front and center. Maybe we strip down the whole set and it's just one shoe right there. Your shoe.
After this soliloquy, after this lecture, I feel like.
Make sure you check for that piece though. It sounds amazing.
Please do read it.
All right.
Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones. It doesn't get better than that, in my opinion. Or it hasn't gotten better than that. I hope in the future we do get something better than that.
I don't know why this just popped in my head, but like speaking of this, one of the weird random shoes in that whole era that kind of came and went and popped up, speaking of the Air Force Ones, is remember there was a Celine knockoff Air Force One?
Yeah, I do remember that. People like that shoe a lot. Yeah.
It's like a veg tan looking.
No branding on it.
Yeah, no swoosh.
Yep. Real quick. Came and went.
I feel like maybe there was, and I don't know, but
it
maybe felt like
that cease and desist.
There was some.
energy.
There may have been some legal issues with that shoe.
Yeah, who knows? Joe, you never had a pair?
No, but
It
these
seemed
seem
like a big sort of like
it
tumbler
seems like
sort of
well,
shoe.
it seems like they were in the colorways of the Air Force Ones that.
I mean, and that was like the Hender scheme era too,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like that same again like tan leather. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And their scheme very slippery.
the wooden.
Don't play. Don't try to go get buckets with Gerald in the Hender schemes. You'll be slipping all over.
I told you I will not be getting any buckets anywhere, so you don't have to worry about me in the Hender schemes.
All
You
right.
had like the subway stop come out the old office at like Rockefeller Center. Remember, there's like that, like the
Did you say Rockefeller Center?
Rockville.
No,
Rockefeller.
No, sorry,
You're right.
It just sounded like we worked at the record label, not.
Okay,
You're right.
I'm sorry,
He's
I'm
right,
sorry,
he's
I'm
right,
sorry,
He's
I'm sorry.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but
Go
remember
on.
there was like that, it felt like a mile long like ramp going
Yes.
down into
Yes.
the subway.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
imagined like you coming out of the old office like with those on, like trying to catch a train and just like sliding.
Heelys style,
Yeah.
like Dave Matthews in the Heelys. Shout out to everybody who repeatedly sends us the clip that looks either like our producer Dave Matthews or our co-host Matt Welty flying around in the Heelys. Do we have a final verdict? Who we feel it looks
I think
more
it looks
like?
more like Dave, but that's just me.
Listen.
We'll let the people decide.
Let the people
Search
decide.
out the clip.
Oh, speaking of which, I know I said to you guys last night. We need to just throw it up here. The
Yes.
picture that Complex posted last night of Michael Cera in DJ Pauly D,
Pauly D. We'll
which
end
is
with that.
100%.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
100% Brendan and Joe
From our earlier time.
Amazing.
going out to get pizza together
yeah.
at insert name of Italian places that you guys always say you're going to go to together.
Okay.
I canceled my Don Pepe's
I
day
know.
last week.
We'll address that. We'll address that maybe next week.
We'll make up for it.
Listen, let us know in the comments if we forgot a high fashion sneaker that maybe we didn't talk about that was big that you guys enjoyed. Everyone have a great week. Everyone have a great weekend, Super Bowl weekend. We will see you next week. Make sure you like, subscribe. That's it. It's been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. See you guys next week.
The Chanel running shoes.
Chanel vintage.